Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scurro here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. It is time for Taroscopes. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the month of January 2022. And these January Taroscopes can also be applied to the rest of the year for you. And then you can, come back and see each of the Taroscopes and see if there's connections, if you like, of course. So today we're going to be doing the sign of Aquarius. And this is for Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Moon, Aquarius Rising. Now, we'll do a little bit of the astrology to start with. We start with the new moon in Capricorn, which occurs on the 2nd of January. And new moons are always about starting new projects, new beginnings. Every month we have a new moon in a sign. Sometimes we have two. But it really is about planting a new seed. And for Aquarius, that would be in your 12th house. And the 12th house is kind of a difficult house to describe because it is the house where we connect with our higher spiritual vibrations. It's a sort of a hidden house. We're not always aware of what's going on in there, even to ourselves. And so there's always a little bit of a mystery to that house, but it can be a beginning of a new intention, perhaps, to work within those realms, within maybe mediumship or spiritual connection. Or the 12th house is also a house often populated, largely populated by planets for people whose lives are have more collective purpose to them. So that may be yourself. Now, Aquarius is a sign that has a dual rulership. It is ruled by Saturn and it is ruled by Uranus. And the significant thing for you, Aquarius, is that both Saturn and Uranus are square each other at the end of December on Christmas Eve. We had the last of 3 exact squares, and that square is in orb all year of 2022. So generally with Aquarius, there's an internal conflict between what works and the structures of things and what we want to sort of blow apart. So there's always a tension with Aquarius between maintaining what works and blowing things up. So you always have that. And so that tension is increased exponentially since Saturn and Pluto decided to square each other, which of course was going to happen. Synodic cycle that began back in 1988 is coming to the 3/4 mark, and it did it 3 times in 2021. And as I said, it will be influencing 2022 as well. The other thing is Saturn is in Aquarius. And so when Saturn is in the sign of either your sun, your moon, or your ascendant, Saturn is the taskmaster. And although you're a Saturn ruled planet, it still can be challenging. It's not something you're not used to. But even so, you may be working a little bit harder than you have well, you've been working hard, but sometimes you got to work harder than others. And this may just be one of those times. There's a couple of other things happening. We also have conjunction between the Sun and Venus that's occurring on the 8th. That is significant because Venus is retrograde. And so this is the point where Venus is closest to the Earth. And it is still, well, it's wide to Pluto. It's sort of moved away from Pluto. It will move back into the arms of Pluto in March, but it's almost out of the clutches of Pluto as it makes a conjunction to the sun. But when it does make the conjunction to the sun, it is said that Venus is in the underworld. So she's there anyway. Even if Pluto isn't attending the party, she's there. We also have a new moon. Oh, I talked about that. We talked about the new moon in Capricorn. Well, that conjunction of the sun and Venus really sort of illuminating our deepest needs, our deepest values, our deepest relationship with ourselves, and our relationship to our own power, because we're dealing with Capricorn, right? And all of that is happening in your 12th house. So there's a lot of things like percolating for you, Capricorn, in that 12th house. Of course, Saturn's in the first house. So while things are percolating in the mysterious place, in the most obvious place, there's quite a bit of heavy lifting that it seems you're going to have to do. And, you know, Saturn is in Aquarius all year, so that's not changing. But you're getting used to it. It's been there for a while now. Sorry. We do have, let's see, what else is going on? We have a full moon in the sign of Cancer on the 17th. That's occurring, the sun at 28 degrees of, looks like, Capricorn, and the moon at 28 of Cancer, and that activates your 6th house and your 12th house, so the axis of the house of healing. So you could have a realization perhaps of the healing that is necessary for you, whether it be physical healing, spiritual healing, or healing of karmic relationships. Karmic relationships are those relationships that aren't always fun. You know those? What do they say about Aquarius? They love humanity. It's people they have issue with. Thank you, Jeff Jower. That was his saying, but true, very, very true. The sun does move into your sign of Aquarius. So the sun moves into that first house. That occurs on the 19th. So things will start to lighten up, perhaps brighten up. The sun comes out of the most mysterious, mystical place into the most obvious, overt place, with the sun moving into your sign, excuse me. Okay, what else is going on? We do have a Mercury retrograde as well. Mercury goes retrograde on the 14th. That's occurring in Aquarius. So in that first house, there could be some misunderstandings. I believe it goes all the way back into Capricorn, the last degrees of Capricorn before it goes direct. That starts on the 14th. So from the 14th on, in the month, Mercury is retrograde, and so we need to, you know, double and triple check and go inside for the answers. And with Mercury retrograding in Aquarius, we could have some issues with technology. So it's good to be aware of that. Let's see, what else do I want to mention here? Mars moves into Capricorn on the 24th. It's been in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is your house of friends, your house of goals. So you've probably been thinking about that. As it moves into Capricorn, it goes into that 12th house. So January is, there's a lot of things happening under the surface for you in January. And at the same time, you're being challenged to move forward as best you can. There can be issues with your work or your career, with Uranus in Taurus. Let me see, is that right? Is it Uranus in Taurus that we have to worry about for your career? No, actually your home. Sorry. Your home life. So Uranus in that house of that 4th house of clan. Things about your family can come up, things that shake the very foundations. So there's a lot of stuff happening for you, Aquarius, and best to just buckle down and observe and do the work that is necessary. And perhaps knowing, Aquarius is no stranger to shocks. So shock and awe, actually. So there may be some things coming up with that Uranus Saturn square for you. Really, its function is to help you to navigate the direction for your life, and to do the work that you're here to do, to make, Aquarius is an energy that makes the world a better place. So keep up the good work, guys. All right, next we'll do the Taroscope for Aquarius. I'll be right back with that. Okay, so let's do the card reading for the sign of Aquarius, Aquarius rising, Aquarius moon, Aquarius sun. I'm using the Voyager Tarot by, let's see, do I remember who did? Oh yeah, here we go. Does it say it here? This is an old deck. James Watness, PhD, and Ken Knutson, artist. Whoops, fell on the floor. Well, not the deck, just the box, luckily. Out of the box, as it were, for Aquarius. All right, it almost feels ready. Gotta just wait till it feels ready to get started here. Okay, so January for Aquarius. What do we have? They're a little large and stiff, so it takes me a bit to, oops, yikes. Okay, almost dropped them. Okay, let's see. Where do we start here? What do we start with, Aquarius? We have healing art. It's called art. This is the Temperance card in this deck. It's a beautiful deck. It has all these, what do you call these things? Collage. Yeah, collage. So we have a healing, the Temperance card is a card associated with spiritual initiation, and so you are going through some spiritual initiation. You are walking the path. What's that expression? There's an expression about this path. It is a path associated with Sagittarius. Sagittarius is about finding meaning and truth in a situation. It's sort of a walk through fire, really. It's a walk through fire, and it's a walk through water. The fire and water it comes together, an alchemical process, and it creates a ascension and a healing for you. So it is a promising yet challenging time at this time. Let's see what's crossing the healing here. We have the Four of Wands, aspiration. It's an interesting card to be a card where we're dealing with healing, the aspiration card. Let's take a look at the next card. The next card is the Five of Cups, which is at the root of the situation. And so this makes more sense, the aspiration card crossing the healing. This is a card of disappointment and sorrow. But also it's a card about grieving and the right to be disappointed, the right to be upset because something didn't work out. And yet ultimately you can go through the process of grieving, but it's important that once you have done that, is to look around and see what is still there for you and what you have to move forward from. And so this is because this is the root of the reading, previous disappointments that you are healing from. The challenge is your aspiration. It's almost like you don't know what to ask for, because what you've asked for previously has, at least in part, like been such a disappointment. So let's see what's in the past. We have the Balance card in the past. This is the Justice card in this deck. Is it the Justice card in this deck? I believe it is. There's been a balancing of the scales here. Whatever hasn't worked out for you really wasn't meant to work out, but it was meant to teach you us something. Everything serves in our experience, even the bad stuff. And sometimes it's the bad stuff, or what seems to be the bad stuff at the time ends up being the best things that can happen to us. I've had a lot of friends who've had battles with cancer, and many of them say that the cancer scare or the battle with cancer was a wake-up call for them to really focus on what they came to do, to let go of a lot of stuff in that process. And so, what seems like a disappointment today may ultimately be, in its own way, a way of freeing you from something that would have held you back. Let's see what's in the sky. We have the Two of Crystals. So this is the Two of Pentacles in this deck. So there's balancing. There's, again, this is in the past, we have the Balance card. That was sort of a karmic balancing. And now what's available to you in the sky is physical balancing. And so there is availability for you to balance your physical body, whether it be your health. Okay, so this could be a health issue that you're dealing with, or it could very well just be can you really say just a financial issue? But there is, it's still a little bit of a juggle. It's still going to take a lot of focus for you, but there is that energy of, it's called I think it's equanimity. Hold on one second. Trying to do this without messing up my computer here. Okay. Equanimity. Sorry, equanimity. A balancing. Equality, right? Equality. Okay. It's interesting. I almost feel like this is a reading for the US or the Build Back Better stuff here. And the reason I bring it up is because what it says is that there's still opportunity to find a balance and to find an agreement, a point of agreement. But the United States moon is in Aquarius, so this could be a reading for the United States, the people of the United States, in January. Let's see what's ahead. We have the Nine of Crystals. This is the Nine of Pentacles. There's actually the Nine of Pentacles is the self-made person. So there is an ability for you to depend upon your own abilities. It's almost like you're going to get back on the horse here, and you're going to just do what you do, and you're going to manifest in the way that you need to manifest, and you're going to work and do the things that you need to do. You are rebuilding. You are rebuilding, and this rebuilding process starts in January for you. And really, January is all about rebuilding for you, I would say. In how it's seen from the outside, we have the Master of Crystals. So people see you as somebody who can master the physical dimension. You are able, and you're smart, and you're inventive enough. Reinventing yourself takes the necessity to be willing to let go of the old self before you can reinvent the new self. And Aquarius is I think pragmatic about that, and not particularly emotional. So it's interesting that the emotion card came at the disappointment card is at the root of this. um, but of course even Aquarius can get disappointed in those realms, of course. In your domestic situation, we have the Five of Worlds, and this is called in this deck setback. So there can be some issues at home, financial issues. Again, I said you're rebuilding, and I don't really feel like it's something that you necessarily have to be panicked about, because you have the capacity to rebuild it. And I feel like your home situation is the situation that maybe feels the pinch the most. Your domestic situation, whether it's your home or it's your business, wherever you spend the most amount of time, you're going to feel a pinch. And that may actually be what propels you to reinvent yourself and to rebuild and such. Because what is that? Necessity is the mother of invention. That really is sort of an Aquarius mantra in its way. Hopes and fears, we have the Eight of Worlds. This is the Eight of Pentacles, and it is called in this deck change, asking for change, wanting change, maybe wanting a change of your financial situation. That's a hope, or maybe a fear for some, right? We have the Sage of Cups here as the outcome card. This is the King of Cups. And so the King of Cups is an energy of taking care of the family, taking care of what needs to be taken care of. It's a very empathetic, a sympathetic to a certain extent sign. It will attend. It's a healing. The Sage of Cups, or the King of Cups, is there to nurture his people. And so you may be that Sage of Cups, or you will know that your needs to be nurtured will be taken care of. And it's very interesting because we have a lot of pentacles here. We have a lot of pentacles, and yet the root of it is emotional. And so with the Sage of Cups coming as the end, the outcome of this card, this reading, I feel like attending to and healing and grieving is part of the process this month, but so is taking up the cups that are left and moving on with that. Let me see if we can pull a major arcana. We get the Nine of Worlds, which is a harvest card. Well, that's positive. The Five of Wands. In this deck, it's oppression. So let's see what else. See if we can get a major arcana. And the Eight of Wands. Information coming in really quickly. Let's see underneath it all. We have the Woman of Cups, which is the feminine aspect of the Sage of Cups. So where the Sage of Cups is the King of Cups, this is the Queen of Cups. And so the Queen of Cups is also there to support us, but in a less overt way. So the feminine, the Ace of Wands here, which is about creativity. So there's a lot of creativity underneath it all, sort of waiting in the wings, I feel. And then we did get a major arcana with the Hanged Man. And so this is still going to require you to look at life from a different perspective. And you're going to feel in January, you're going to feel like you're kind of in limbo a bit. But we talked about that in your astrology, because most of the big stuff that's happening in Capricorn is happening in your 12th house, and that's sort of a hidden place for you. And so there are a lot of things happening under the surface here while you're dealing with your emotional stuff and trying to rebuild your financial picture, it looks like. So that's what I see. I hope that was helpful for you. Uh, I want you to have a great January. And again, this reading can apply for the year. Um, and it's a year of reinvention. It's a year of healing. It's a year of coming to terms with your need to be nurtured or to nurture. Um, and there's a lot of creativity, but a lot of it has to do with understanding what you can affect and what you can't affect. And what you can affect, you have to let go of and leave it to spirit. And what you can affect, be diligent about affecting that. For the most part, the only people that we can really make a change in are ourselves. So that's a good start. All right, guys, I hope you have a great July. Oh my God, January. Sorry about that. I I think I need another cup of coffee. It's still relatively early here. So much love to you all. Like and subscribe if you would like to donate. There is a link below. If you would like a reading with me, see what 2022 is holding for you, or just to get to know yourself better, there's a link below for that as well. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful new year. Take care, everyone. Much love.